What's up guys, it's Sean from Window Tint Warriors, and today I'm going to show you really quick how to do a windshield strip in two separate pieces. Since we have that triangle coming down, the customer doesn't want it as low as the bottom of that, so we're going to do two separate pieces, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how to lay it out, cut it, and install it to make sure that it lines up perfectly. But first what we're going to do is wipe the outside, and then we're going to lay down a 1/4 inch vinyl tape around the edge so that when we cut the strip out, we don't cut the stickers and we don't score the glass. So let's clean that up really quick. Just using soapy water, microfiber towel. Clean the area where we're going to lay out the film. Now the customer wants it to come down about 1/2 inch from the top, from the bottom of this little triangle here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay 1/4 inch white tape around the edge to give us a guide to cut on. This is 3M vinyl tape. And you should use this anytime you have to cut out a front windshield or a rear windshield. Always lay this around the border if you're cutting directly on the glass. I'm just going to line it up exactly with the edge of the dot matrix. Cut that off. And we'll grab our material and lay it out. All right, for this strip, we're doing 5% Suntech Standard Pro. We'll mist the outside up really nicely with soapy water. And I like to rinse or mist the top of the roof so the film slides around nicely. I'll take it right out of the roll. I'm gonna pull out about 3 feet. Let it hang over the side. Hold it in the center and continue to pull it without damaging the material. Make sure you have coverage over there and then cut the excess off or cut it off of the roll. Place the roll right here. And this is where we have to line it up perfectly, and you're going to need a tape measure. Mist the outside of the film. Line it up kind of where you want it, just so you have a working position. You wanted it about 1/2 inch from the bottom of the triangle. So we'll put it right there. And now what we're going to do is go back and forth with the tape measure and measure from the top of the glass to the bottom edge of the film in the dot matrix area and make sure it's even on both sides. We'll come up here, latch into the top of the glass, pull on it, and we have about 11 and 2/16 and 10 3/4, so we'll move this down slightly. And we have 11 right there, so we're going to move the other side up to 11, and that should be about even. Perfect. Then once we have the film leveled out, you're going to squeegee it into place, starting from the center and the bottom of the film. So mount the middle in, work across the bottom. And the reason you want to work across the bottom and push it up, in case there's any fingers, you can shrink them vertically. You don't want to shrink them on the straight line. You want to shrink them on the top, because if you shrink on the straight line, you may cause some distortion. We'll go ahead and start cutting this out. Make sure we have our tape line visible. And to make it easier to see, you'll squeegee along it. And make sure you have a fresh blade as well. Now the key here to cutting this out is to keep it as tight as possible and as close as possible to the edge. That way when we line it up on the inside, we can see exactly where the straight edge is. And it lines up perfectly on both sides. It does get a little tricky. This is 5%, so it's hard to see even the white tape through. But just a little patience, and we'll get a nice straight cut. So if you are using a 20-inch roll, the other half of the strip will be a completely another strip, an additional windshield strip, so you can roll that material up and save that for when the next customer wants a windshield strip. One thing I did forget to do, I was only thinking about protecting the stickers. I forgot to put a strip along each side. So when I do cut these straight lines along the side of the triangle, I'm just gonna apply very little pressure and be extremely careful. Let's go ahead and squeegee this side out. And cut on the tape. It does get a little tricky with these letters, but like I said, patience, take your time. And that's good. Cut this little piece off here, and we can roll this extra strip up for the next customer that wants a 5% windshield strip. I'm going to cut these the sides to the triangle and make sure I have a fresh blade for that. I don't want to cause any marring in the glass. Just do a nice straight edge. Very light pressure. I might have not even cut it. Alright, so now that we have those sides cut, clean them up really nice, we can go ahead and install this. And to install it, we got to prep the inside first, so cover the dash with a dash towel. I'm going to clean this side first, and then I'm going to install this side. And then I'm going to go as that side, clean that side, and install it. So, mist it up. I want to try to avoid using razor blades on the inside of windshields because the glass is and tends to be extremely soft. So you want to go, feel for any contamination, and then we can go ahead and wipe it dry, removing any water residue or contamination that's on there. And then we'll do our spray squeegee spray. And then I'll go on the outside and peel the release liner after I spray this. I'm going to peel the liner, mist it up really nice. Not too much water, because then it gets slippery and hard to tack into place. Lift this up on one hand. Now, as long as your cuts were precise when you install this, it'll line up exactly how it should and line up with the other piece on the other side. So we'll get that corner to line up. The main thing is the top being as precise as possible. It is going to move on you. Mist it up on the outside, hold it into place, and start the squeegee very lightly to get it to tack. Once it starts to tack up, you mist it again. Yep, and you can see it's moving on me. You just got to keep going over it with light strokes until you get it to tack into place. Once it's tacked, you can really go at it and push all the soapy water out between the film and the glass. This one more mist. If the film is dry and you hit it with a dry squeegee, it's just gonna rip the film off the window pretty much. So we'll give this a really hard press, get that mounted into place, and then we'll go and do the other side, let this sit for a little bit, and then we'll come back to this with the Blue Huck towel, gray Leadco card, and the heat gun and push out around the edges to make sure it's sealed up nice before the customer leaves. Go ahead onto the other side, do the same exact thing. So at this side we have a oil change sticker. or it's a cling sticker, so there's no glue. I'm gonna move the mirror, mist it up, and scrub specifically where that cling was to remove any residue. And then across the rest of the top. And we'll feel it, make sure there's nothing. We're good. Give it a wipe, remove any of the dirty residue. Wipe the side panel. We'll do our spray squeegee spray. Wipe in the blade. We'll mist it up and then go grab the film. Get that release liner to peel. Got a little sliver here. We'll spray a little less water this time because that last time it was a little bit too slippery. Grab it under, lay it on our palm, let it flow on each side. Very carefully walk inside. And then we'll kind of Frankenstein method this single side strip. Working it into place. Perfectly lined up. We'll mist the outside and start squeegeeing it lightly, holding it into position with one hand to make sure we don't get any movement. Now on a windshield strip of this minimal effort, you don't have to use a soak shield, but if you're doing a full windshield, most definitely use a soak shield. Worst case scenario, if you don't have a soak shield and you have a dashboard towel, you can put the towel against the window and that'll soak anything up that drips down, but you should be okay with something this small. So we get that squeegeed out. We're not moving around. Let that sit for a little bit. Let's go on the other side and push that out with the heat gun. So we have the heat gun, Blue Hawk towel, gray lid co, wrap it around, and we'll just heat it up around the edges and push out to make sure it's sealed up nicely. Give the lower section of the window a quick wipe. Do the same on the other side. Very straightforward. Windshield strip may seem like a hard process, but it is extremely easy and it's quick money if you own a shop and you're doing this for a living. Let's give the outside a wipe and pull that tape off. All right, guys, that is how you hand cut and install a two-piece windshield strip. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoyed the content. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below.